Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Zudu Pickups. Today I want to compare Google's two new phones, the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL. So obviously there's a lot of great reviews for these two phones from a lot of great tech publications out there on YouTube and on the internet, pretty much like everywhere. So this is not going to be a review. It's kind of going to be like a head-to-head comparison between the two phones. And I'm going to try to give you guys advice on, if you're on the fence, which phone to buy, like which phone is better for you. Obviously, I have both phones. I couldn't decide, so I bought both so I could use both and return the loser. And I just wanted to share my experiences using these two phones for the last 2 weeks with you guys, so you guys wouldn't have to buy two phones and do this entire thing that I did. So first of all, let's talk some specs. These two phones are identical in terms of internal specs. They both have Snapdragon 835 chipsets, 4 gigs of RAM, 65 gigs or 128 gigs of internal memory, USB-C, no headphone jack, gotta live with it, 2017, and great 12.2 pixel rear shooters, and a also great 8 megapixel front shooter. The two main physical differences on these two devices are going to be the screen and the battery, and those are the two main differentiators. So that being said, let's talk about the two main differences and how they might affect your use of these two devices. The elephant in the room, the screen. We got to talk about the screen. When the Pixel 2s were first announced, everyone saw this smaller Pixel 2 and they saw the bezels on the top and bottom, and everyone was just like losing their minds. They're like, oh, this is such a hideous phone. It looks so ugly. It looks like something from 2014 or whatever, and it kind of does. There's no denying that. My Nexus 5X looks exactly like this phone. Literally, they have made no sort of design changes, and it definitely shows, and it looks like an old phone. That being said though, the Pixel 2 does have a Samsung OLED panel, and it looks great. The color reproduction is great, the viewing angles are great. I have no complaints about this panel. I wish I could say the same for the Pixel 2 XL. I guess if you guys are watching this video, you're probably aware of the problems that have plagued the Pixel 2 XL displays. Mostly being the blue shift, also OLED burn-in at the bottom navigation bar, and also graininess all over the display. So yeah, this phone, while it looks gorgeous, the quality of the display definitely is not the best. So this panel is a LG-made OLED panel, which is a generation behind Samsung's OLED panels, and it definitely shows. So side by side, you can definitely tell that the XL display changes color way more than the regular Pixel 2 display. So the LG display on the Pixel 2 XL seems to have a lot of difficulty at angles. Everything just kind of turns blue. And a lot of people say that's not a big deal. They can just live with it, and they're keeping their devices. However, for me, most of the time when I'm using the phone, it's on the desk at work, and the entire screen is blue because I'm looking at it from an angle. I actually RMA'd my first device because that even had worse blue shift at about 10 to 20 degrees. This is my second device, and this device also, while it is a little better than the first one, has blue shift at about 20 to 30 degrees. It's better. But is it acceptable at $850? You're going to have to be the judge of that. For me personally, I don't think it is. So another thing we have to talk about is the screen. Another thing we have to talk about, I think, is the screen ratio. The Pixel 2 XL has this weird 2:1 kind of long and narrow aspect ratio. The 2 has the more traditional 16:9 aspect ratio. When you're just kind of browsing, it's actually a lot better on the Pixel 2 XL because you can fit a lot more data into one screen versus the Pixel 2. You don't have as much data you can view. However, when you're looking at videos, you get some letterboxing on the sides due to the aspect ratio. And that is actually, you know, slightly annoying. But even with the letterboxing, the video on the 2XL is larger than the video on the 2. So having that bigger screen is definitely benefiting you. However, at the end of the day, the low quality of the LG panel ultimately kind of dooms the Pixel 2 XL, and I have to give the display round to the Pixel 2. Even though it has the smaller 5-inch 1080p screen, because the panel is higher quality, it just looks better than the 6-inch 1440p screen on the 2 XL. Next, let's talk about the battery life. So the battery on this is a 2700 milliamp hour battery. The battery on this larger phone is a 3520 milliamp hour battery. So that's a considerable difference. However, this smaller phone, it's no slouch when it comes to battery life. Because it uses a lower resolution display, it draws less power, thus is a little more energy efficient than the larger phone. That being said, obviously, the larger phone with the larger battery lasts longer, and I would say it lasts about 20 to 30% longer. At the end of the day, with the Pixel 2, I was normally left with about 15% when I went to bed. With the Pixel 2 XL, I had 30+%, so I could even go maybe another half day if I wanted to with the 2 XL. So if you're a person that burns through battery and needs a lot of endurance, if you like your phones with long legs, the Pixel 2 XL is the way to go. But the Pixel 2 will last you the entire day, but just not any longer than that. So the battery round goes to the Pixel 2 XL. So finally, let's talk about usability and form factor. So this is where it really gets decisive for me. A phone is a device that you have on your person all day, every day, and a large phone, I don't know, I really tried to like this, but I just couldn't carry this around all day and feel comfortable. I usually wear skinnier pants, and unlike women, like guys don't really carry like bags or handbags or anything like that. So we put our phones in our pockets, and wearing slimmer pants, it was very difficult for me to have this large phone in my pocket and not feel it. It was kind of like bulging out a little bit. It wouldn't go in all the way in all my pockets. The smaller phone, however, fit in pretty much most of my pockets with no problem, and it was just a joy to carry. I barely noticed it when it was in my pocket. In terms of usability, obviously the smaller Pixel 2 is way easier to use. A test that I like to do when I get a new phone is see if I can go from one corner to the other corner, and I can do that here pretty easily without really doing too much hand acrobatics here. However, on the Pixel 2 XL, like in order for me to go from this corner to this corner, it's just very cumbersome. It's difficult for me to do, and it feels like I'm gonna kind of like drop my phone trying to squirm my hand around so I can get to the higher parts of the screen. The really tall aspect ratio of this phone really doesn't do itself any favors in that department either, because it just makes things on the top of the screen like further away and harder to reach. But I definitely know a lot of people that prefer the larger screen phones, and it's just more convenient for them because they need the screen real estate, and I totally understand. But for me, for my use cases, I just normally like browse social media, get on Reddit, watch some videos and stuff like that. I don't really need a huge screen. So for me, the clear winner was the Pixel 2 because it was a lot easier to use, and the smaller form factor really helped me carry it around everywhere without even noticing. So, in the end, as you guys might have guessed, I have decided to keep the Pixel 2 and return the Pixel 2 XL. This was a shocking decision to me because when I ordered the two phones, I honestly almost didn't even order the Pixel 2. I knew when I saw the Google event that the Pixel 2 XL would be the phone for me, and I was just in love with the panda colorway with the orange power button. The design was just so beautiful, and I just like I'm just gonna get the Pixel 2 just to compare. That's literally why I got it. I never thought I'd end up choosing this phone. The main downfall to this phone is the LG POLED display. It just doesn't, I just can't do it. All I see is blue, and knowing that I spent $850 for a B grade screen, I don't think I'd be okay with that. Also, I just think that this phone is just too unwieldy and large, and I would happily sacrifice the extra battery life on this phone for a more nimble experience on this smaller phone. So in my opinion, and for my everyday use, I do think the Pixel 2 regular is the superior phone. Is that the case for you? Probably not, because you use your phone different than me, and everyone has different priorities. But hopefully that kind of breakdown of the differences helped you out in deciding which phone to get. These two phones, I mean, regardless of all the stuff I said, they're both great phones. I really love them. You know, I wish I could kind of keep both, but unfortunately I don't have like the $1,500 that is needed to keep both phones, so I'm just gonna have to return this phone. But I just wish that they made the regular 2 in this colorway with like this kind of screen, you know, with like the very small bezels. That would have been perfect. But I guess maybe next year, Google, maybe next year. But yeah, hopefully that video helped you out. And once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next vid.